Siyanamukela ohlelweni lwe-Ithala Edu Platform enilethulelwa ngezilokotho ezinhle Ithala kanye ne-Go Digital SA Foundation. Thamelani izifundo ze-mathematics, i-accounting, isiZulu ulimi lwasekhaya, isiNgisi, i-FAL, i-physical science, i-geography, ezobuchwepheshe, i-computer applications technology kanye namaklasi e-learner wellness okungukuzilolonga ngokomqondo kanye nomzimba. Lezi zifundo zethulwa nsuku zonke kusukela ngoMsombuluko kuya ngoLwesihlanu kuqala ngehora lesi-4 kuya kwelesihlanu u-4 kuya ku-5 ntambama nangoMgqibelo kusukela ligamanxe ihora lesi-8 8:30 kuze kugamanxe ihora lokuqala emini 1:30. Zithameleni futhi lezi zifundo emsakazweni Ukhozi FM njalo ngoLwesine kusukela ngo-9 kuya ku-10 ebusuku. Ningangena ekhasini lethu lika-Facebook elithi Go Digital SA_movement noma kwi-YouTube uthi Go Digital SA Foundation. Siyethemba nizolijabulela lolu hlelo oluhlose ukunifundisa futhi lulekelele kulokho enikufunda ezikoleni zenu. Luthokozeleni-ke lolu hlelo nimeme nabo bonke abanye abafundi bebanga le-12 grade 12 ukuze nabo bazuze kulo futhi nonke nicijeleke ukuphumelela kwizivivinyo zenu zokuphela konyaka.
Sanibonani grade 12. Igama lami uMr Mthembu, ithuthaye ne-geography. Namhlanje sizobheka i-local climate. Kwi-local climate sizobe sibheka nje i-valley and city climate. So ziyahambisana lezi zinto grade 12. Now into esizoyibheka nje namhlanje, which I hope izokusiza for your exams. Sizobheka nje ama diagrams la ahleze phuma kwi-exam yethu. Sibheke nama questions ukuthi bawa structureisha kanjani so that uzosizakala masubhala i-exam yakho. Nangendlela ozoyi-approacha ngayo futhi i-exam yakho. Now ngithe sizobheka i-valley climate namhlanje grade 12. Ekumele siyazi ukuthi iyini into yokuqala nje. So i-valley climate it occurs on a local scale, so which means kusuke i-climate nje esuke incane yakuleyo ndawo and futhi i-lasta for few hours, so into yesikhashana nje. So i-valley abaningi bazoyazi ke ukuthi i-valley into eme njengo-V. So which means kusuke either mhlambe phansi nendawo lapha ezansi kusuke kunomfula noma mhlambe nje kusuke kuyi-open space, kuyindawo evulekile. So uma kunomfula phansi nendawo sesibiza nge-river valley. So uma ungekho umfula sibiza nje nge-valley nje kuphela. So namhlanje sibheka i-valley as i-valley enkulu la kwakhe khona abantu, la kwakhiwe khona ama-factories, ama-firms, yabo. Sibheke ukuthi kwenzakalani phakathi nabantu bakhona futhi baphila kanjani kuyona leyo valley. So kule topic again sizobheka futhi i-anabatic and katabatic winds. Sibheke ukuthi what types of winds are those. So analyze swabheke futhi ukuthi movement yakhona ime kanjani. Sibheke futhi ne-aspect. I-aspect siyibheke ukuthi siyibiza nge-slope aspect ngoba sibheke phela iy'lophu eziwu-2. Esisodwa sifeseka north, esisodwa sifeseka south. So ama-learners azokhumbula ukuthi sine north facing slope ne south facing slope and iyiphi indawo right yokuthi sakhe khona as singabantu and iyiphi indawo kumele sitshale khona as singama-farmers, yabo. And then bese sibheka i-city climate. I-city climate sibheka futhi ama-urban heat islands, sibheka even nama-pollution domes. Now asibheke-ke into yokuqala i-anabatic and katabatic winds. Si-analyze nje ukuthi what types of winds are those. So la sibheka the structure of a valley and the heating and cooling that occurs ebusuku during the day, during the nights as well. Sinamagama aso lezi ndawo lezi sibiza noma lemoya lena ewu2 owodwa wenzakala emini owodwa wenzakala ebusuku siyesuphe amagama azo. So lo owodwa wenzakala emini sibiza ngeanabatic winds, omunye futhi owenzakala ebusuku sibiza ngekatabatic winds. So as you can see lana grade 12 sine diagram ye-anabatic wind. So i-diagram ye-anabatic wind kwi-exam yakho bazoyibeka kanjeyana babeke ilanga lapha phezulu and then bese bebeka nama-arrows. Zoyithula izinto zisho nje yonke into about i-anabatic winds. If bengashongo grade 12 uma bengabhalanga ukuthi this is anabatic winds, ngokubeka nje ilanga la sizokhumbula ukuthi okay now a situation yasosukwini le, so this is a situation during the day, and then also ngokubeka nje lama arrows lawa kanje ebheke phezulu sizobona ukuthi okay this is warm air rising, so it's rising uyaphezulu lo yamoya. So whatever was there mhlawumbe njenge pollution and all that izoba released into the atmosphere. And then bese siba ne katabatic winds. I katabatic winds yona ke iyenzakala ebusuku. And then again uma bengashongo ukuthi this is katabatic winds, mabebeke inyanga lapha yana nansi inyanga yakho base bebeka nama arrows appointe phansi base befaka nento lapha yaphakathi nendawo esingayazi nokuthi iyini esizoyinikeza nje igama layo njengamanje. Usizosho wena ukuthi okay this is a situation that is happening ebusuku and igama lawo lo moya lo wehlayo sibizwa ngekatabatic winds. Now phakathi nendawo ke lapha yana ke grade 12 lapha kulela bhande leliyana kunomoya oshisayo grade 12 ocindezele umoya osuka phezulu, ucindezele umoya osuka la phansi osuke ubanda. So lo moya leli bhande leli elapha phansi nendawo silibiza nge-warm thermal belts, yabo. So it's an inversion kahle kahle, it's an inversion layer mase beyibiza ke ka grade 12. Now i-anabatic wind and katabatic wind as a grade 12 lena ke kuzomela phela ukwazi uyidefine ke manje ukuthi what types of winds are these. So i-anabatic winds imoya le njengoba deshile eqaleni, imoya le blower noma ehamba up the slope, the valley slope. So which means iyanyuka le moya lishona phezulu and iyenzakala nini ke ngasiphi isikhathi, iyenzakala during the day. Usuqedile nge-anabatic winds usuza nge-katabatic winds. What is i-katabatic winds? Ama-katabatic winds kusayiyona le moya futhi that blows down the valley eyehlayo kwi-valley slopes ebusuku ke manje, yabo. So usuyayibona ke difference between the two. So unomoya wasemini onyukayo and then nomoya wasebusuku owehlayo down the valley slope. And then bese uba ne-thermal belts. I-thermal belts iyileya ke le njengoba ngishile i-layer of warm air, ilile bhande lela desilibheke eqaleni eliphasi nendawo kwi-valley yakho above umoya obandayo in the bottom of the valley. So kwi-valley yakho ebusuku isuke i-occupywe noma kusuke kugcwele umoya obandayo, yabo. Then bese kuba khona umoya obandayo futhi ngaphezulu kwe-thermal belt. So i-thermal belt yakho inomoya osuke unjani grade 12 oshisayo. Now le thermal belt ke le iyona ke grade 12 le etrapper i-pollution esuke iyenziwe ama-firm nama-factory, uma kunama-firm nama-factory kuleyo valley leyo. So uma sekuhlangene umoya masekuhlangene i-smoke ne-fog le uma isihlangene kuleli bhandi leli esilibiza nge-thermal belt liyashintsha ke igama siyibiza ngane nge-smoke, yabo. So i-smoke sakho it's a combination of i-smoke sakho nelento lena ne-pollution esuke itholakala laphana kwi-valley ke. Now asibheka ama-effects ke grade 12, ama-effects of anabatic winds on settlement. Very important ukwazi grade 12 ukuthi iyenzani ke manje, yipi impact, imapha ama results, inamthelela muni anabatic wind kwi settlement. Zokhumbula ithi settlement is a place where people live, ila kuhlala khona abantu. So you will remember ke futhi ukuthi uma i-settlement yakho ihlezi igcwele intuthu, ihlezi igcwele pollution, abantu bazogula. So i-anabatic ke yona ibe isisiza ke manje ngokuthi ikhiphe le pollution ke le esuke ilaphana within the valley, yabo, ikhiphe i-release into the atmosphere, so that kuzosala umoya oclean la okuhlala khona abantu kwi-settlement. Then i-effects of i-katabatic winds on settlement yona seyibamba ungcola ke i-pollution in the valley. Remember lile bande lelana esilibiza nge-thermal belt noma inversion layer, ifike ibamba ungcola. So lokho ungcola lokho bese ku-circulator noma ku-round khona lana nje ngaphakathi kwi-valley. So uma kuhlala abantu ke lapho kuleyo valley leyo kune-settlement, abantu bengaze bebe nezinto ey'njenga ama respiratory diseases, yabo, uma benenkinga nokuphefumula, yabo, leyo nto, abantu abane-sinus bazo-affecteka, yabo. So wonke lawo ma-lung diseases noma iy'nkinga zokuphefumula, abantu bazolento lena bageze bekwazi ukuhlala kuleyo ndawo le ngoba kusuke sekutrapheke i-pollution lokhu kungcola lokho okuzobe ku-circulator lapho kwi-settlement. And then again, katabatic winds will bring cold temperatures to the valley, so which means lawo ma-cold temperatures angaze edale izinto esibiza nge-frost, noma nje kube ne-frost pockets ke lapha ezansi. I-frost pockets ke so i-frost esuke i-develop ke lapha ezansi phansi kwi-valley flow, so sibiza nge-frost pockets. And then so ama-cold temperatures siyazi ukuthi awameleki, so abantu uma bakhe laphayana down the valley slopes, down the valley flow, bazo-affecteka ngoba kuzomele sibesebenzise ama-heater most of the time asuke edla ugesi, or abanye abantu besebenzise iy'mbawula which pollutes much of umoya. And then katabatic, as another effect, katabatic winds will lead to development of the thermal belts. Le thermal belts le trapper pollution esishile eqaleni. And then if ngase explain one more time, a thermal belt say it's a zone of warmer temperature above the valley, yabo. So you have cold air ngezansi kwe thermal belts as well as cold air ngale ngaphezulu kwiland kwe thermal belts. Bese uthi thermal belts ke kusuke kunomoya onjani oshisayo. So mase sikubheke ke manje lokho grade 12 ke ngokwe diagram. I-diagram yethu ke manje mase sibheka ama-impacts of the inversion layer ke. La kwi-diagram you can see ukuthi ngifaka ama-factories laphayana, and ama-factories ami as they process izinto la kuma-factories, ama-factories akhipha lesi smoke on a daily basis. And then as lo moya lo unyuka, yabo, if it was during the day, uma uyisemini, lo moya le pollution le ibizoba released into the atmosphere, but because isebusuku ke la kune-inversion leya kune-thermal belt, izoyitrapha le pollution le, and then izo-end up i-circulator around leya ndawo leyana. Lese mhlawumbe benginabantu bebakhile lana, labo bantu labo will get affected. Even nabantu abasebenzayo futhi khona lana ke, yabo, uma benama respiratory problems, yabo, benenkinga yokuphefumula bazoba nenkinga, yabo. So i-production will not as be much as a production yabantu mhlambe abasemini ngoba i-pollution emini izobe ingekho. So now as you can see la eceleni nje ngikufakelile nje ngathi yonke le ndawo kusuka la uza la, so kusuka lapha phezulu uza lapha yana, le ndawo igcwele umoya onjani grade 12 obandayo, but mawusuka la uza lapha yana kunomoya oshisayo which is called i-thermal belt. And then again ngale emva kwawo beyond that kunomoya obandayo ke grade 12. So now mase sibheke nje ama effects ke manje of warm thermal belts on settlement and farming. Sesibheka la ukuhlala khona abantu ke manje. Iyaphuma ke grade 12 lento as a question, as a paragraph question, mhlambe ka 8 lines or even ka 6 lines, yabo. So bayakubuza, what are effects of warm thermal belts on settlement or on farming, yabo? Noma mhlambe bekufake kwethu ke lento on settlement and on farming. So sizokuhlukanisa ke manje lezi zinto zoyithu. So abantu bazokhetha nje uma bakha kuleya valley, yeah, bazokhetha ukwakha izindlu zabo hayi kwi bottom of the valley, bazokhetha ukwakha halfway up the valley slope, yabo. Why? Is because bafuna ukuba closer to the warmer thermal belts, yabo, ngoba kuyabanda lapha yana ezantsi. And then again ama crops la adinga umoya ofudumele noma ama conditions afudumele adinga angayidingi ifrost, yabo. Lawo ma crops nawo azoba planted, bazowatshala lapha next to thermal belt. So which means awezukuba lapha kwi valley floor, bazowakha bazoplanta noma bazolima le phezulu nga kwi thermal belt ukulandela nje amalento ama warm conditions. So imaphi lawo ma crops abazowatshala next to ama warm conditions next to thermal belts? Sikhuluma ngama crops such as sugarcane, such as ummbila, yabo, maize and all that, yabo. And then bese kuba ma effects ke grade 12 of frost pockets on settlement and farming. Khumbula ukuthi ngitheni nge-frost pockets grade 12. I-frost pockets itholakala lapha ezantsi on the valley floor, yabo. Isuke ilapha yana kwi-valley floor, kusuke ngama conditions abandayo ngalendlela, because i-temperature noma i-dew point temperature has reached has gone below 0 degrees Celsius. So it's gone beyond freezing point, which is 0. Now ama crops which will withstand, akwazi ukumelana nokumanda, such as frost, bengakwazi ukuwatshala abantu lapha kuma bottom of the valley, yabo, noma kuma valley floors. Imaphi lo ma crops noma ama plants? Sikhuluma ngama potatoes. So ama potatoes, even ama sweet potatoes, engakwazi ukutshala lapha endaweni ezibandayo lapha down at the valley floor. Ama crops angakwazi ukulento ukumelana ne frost. And then also pollution is trapped in the cold air below the temperature inversion at night. Ngithe mina ke if pollution is trapped lapha ezantsi kwi valley floor, kuba nezinto negative kubantu, yabo. Abantu ba experience senhlapha une sinus njengoba ngishilo eqaleni, uzoba nenkinga yokuphefumula, yabo. Mone asthma, uzoba nenkinga yolento yokuphefumula as well. Ama conditions asuke ebanda, as well as suke sekuhlangene futhi ne pollution. Asuke ngahambi wodwa lama conditions, but ahamba ne pollution because ivinjwe i-thermal belts. Okay. Ama aspects, slope aspects. The aspects grade 12 it just refers to the direction in which a slope is facing, yabo. Sibheke ukuthi islope leso silibhekile yini ilanga noma it's facing away from the sun. Now la sinama north facing slope nama south facing slopes, and uzokhumbula ke la South Africa ke ama slopes are warm, ama north facing slopes, which means aface ilanga, so athola wonke ama direct sun rays. So ilanga mali strike nje listrike kuma north facing slopes. So indawo njengase Drakensberg nje kanje, indawo enezintaba ezinkulu, even naseLesotho la kuney'ntaba khona kunabantu abakhile laphayana. So uma bakha abakhi kulezi ndawo lezi enganalo ilanga, instead they choose or bakhetha lezi ndawo lezi ey'fese ilanga so that bezothola lo vitamin D. Then again uma bezoplanta benze ingadi yabo bayakwazi ukuthi betshale lezi zitshalo lezi ezilidingayo ilento ilanga. Okay, now this determines whether the sun's rays will hit the side of the valley directly or indirectly. So ilanga ke uzokhumbula ke ama sun rays, grade 12. My striker into the earth's surface. Our strike it direct njenge vertical aerial photograph. Ngenze example. A strike on an oblique angle. So oblique angle is siding, yabo. So angle of about or less than 90 degrees. So striker siding. So ilanga maliphuma nje liphuma enorth, yabo. So maliphuma enorth indawo ezoba warm. Ilezi ndawo lezi eyifese unorth ke, yabo. And then also mase sibheke mhlambe spare our main focus ukuthi how does the slope noma aspects influences temperatures on north as well as south facing slopes in the southern hemisphere. Sizobona nje ukuthi yes lana concerned kakhulu ngani ngokuphuma kwelanga nangendlela elistrike ngayo kulezi ndawo. So how the sun's rays affect slope temperatures in the southern hemisphere. Remember iwari yethu njengamanje grade 12 is a southern hemisphere. It's a different ball game uma ukhumbula kahle. Kuhlukile kunase northern hemisphere ke ngisazokutshela njengamanje. Now, asibheke i-north facing slopes. In north facing slopes grade 12 ithola ilanga njengoba linjalo. Liyaphuma lize liyoshona bayalithola ilanga. And lokho kwenza ini grade 12 kwenza ukuthi islope sibenjani sibe warm. So bathola lonke ilanga lababantu. Balithola lisaphuma, balithola liseliyoshona. Kanti ngale kuma south facing slope khona ke bathola ilanga elsweli indirect, yabo. So which means balithola mhlambe seliyoshona, bethole lonke eshezana encane seliyoshona. Uzokhumbula ukuthi ilanga maseliyoshona alikho effective as ilanga lisaphuma and ilanga lisuke selihamba phezulu. So balithola seliyoshona ke abantu abakhe ngale kwa south facing slopes so as they receive indirect sun rays, yabo. So iyenza yonke lento ke manje ukuthi lezi ndawo ezingale ka south facing slope zibe nama conditions abandayo, so they making them cooler, yabo. So mase sikubheke lento kwi diagram ke grade 12. Slope aspect sethu ke. Slope aspect sethu sizobheka ngithe sizobheka i southern hemisphere kakhulu, soba worried nge southern hemisphere for now. Nanti ilanga lapha yana uyalibona, and the way it strikes the earth uyalibona nanka ama sun's rays akhona. Ama sun's rays a strike lapha direct into those north facing slopes. So which means uno north facing slope ngala, uno south facing slope ngala. And indawo ezila ku north facing slope ngiseqaleni they receive direct sun's rays. That's number 2. Hits a smaller surface, yabo. And then that's number 3. Therefore, the slope is warmer, yabo. So zonke lezi ndawo lezi ezila ka north facing slope zilithola njoba linjalo ilanga. Zilithola lishisa njoba linjalo, but ngale ka south facing slope ngise ilanga balithola kancane ngoba indlela elistrike ngayo la kwi south facing slope, as you can see lama sun's rays avele eshaya edlule. So the way ilanga elistrike ngayo la kuma south facing slope sibiza ngokuthi indirect, yabo. Elinye igama esingalisebenzisa futhi libizwa ngokuthi it's oblique yabo. So laba receiver an indirect sun's rays or an oblique sun's rays. So we-exam uma sebekubuzile ukuthi why people choose to build their houses on the north facing slopes, and then uzokusuthi-ke wena it's because these people abahlala la in the north facing slope, they receive direct sun's rays yabo. All the heat is received yabo by this area, therefore it warms yonke le ndawo, ifudumeza yonke leya ndawo. And then bese beyabuza futhi kwi-exam ukuthi why people do not choose to build their houses on the south facing slope, then bese uyasho ukuthi it's because of the indirect sun's rays yabo kwi-exam. And then usho futhi ukuthi it hits a larger surface area, and then therefore the slopes remains cool. So uzobe ususho phela lapho ukuthi lesi slope south facing slope le ndawo ya south facing slope since it receive ama indirect sun's rays izohlezi ibanda. And then bese beyabuza futhi kwi-exam bethi abantu bazokhetha ukutshala kephi nendawo, isiphi slope abazosikhetha la phakathi kwale north facing slope ne south facing slope ukutshala nje izinto enjengombila enjengomoba. And then uzobe ususho ukuthi it's south facing slope, and then bese support i-answer yakho ke ngokunika reason ukuthi it's receive, the area receives direct sun's rays, and then the list goes on. They ask you the same thing ka south facing slope nakhona bethi indawo abantu bengakhethi ukwakha khona ukulento kulima khona, and then bese uyabatshela ye futhi. Okay, asibheke ke manje on the actual photograph grade 12 lento sikhuluma ngayo. So this is a slope aspect yala e-southern hemisphere. Yala e-southern hemisphere, and ngikhethe lesi sithombe lesi ke esine vegetation. You can see ukuthi i-vegetation yethu ngala i-green and i-vegetation yangala i-dry yabo. So uzokhumbula grade 12 ukuthi vegetation for yona ukuthi ikhule kahle idinga i-sunlight yabo. Uma wenza i-process of photosynthesis and all that le go natural science noma go life science, so i-plant yakho idinga ilanga for yona ukuthi ikhule kahle. So mase ngibuze nje grade 12 njengamanje ukuthi yipi indawo la ongathi it's a south facing slope, yipi indawo ongathi it's a north facing slope. And then grade 12 ngiyazi usiyangiphendula ke njengamanje uthi ilenga la ka left wami is i north facing slope. Bese ngithi please do support your answer. Bese bethi it's because this area is facing the sun, so le ndawo ithola ilanga njengoba linjalo. Okay, bese ngiyabuza ke nge-area that is facing noma is taken as a south facing slope, and then bese uyasho ukuthi leka right. Bese ngithi mina give the evidence ke manje esolakala la kulesi sithombe sami. Usuzongitshela ke manje ukuthi okay, I can see dry vegetation, and the dry vegetation ke because ukuthi ilanga yilitholi, so which means le ndawo receives indirect sun's rays yabo or oblique sun's rays. So this area here is always cool, ihlezi ibanda leya ndawo. That is why i-vegetation yakhona i-dry. Asambe singale manje northern hemisphere. Yizi isithombe sami esingabonakala grade 12 kahle la, kodwa manje you can see ukuthi i-settlement leyana. I-settlement is where people live, la abantu abahlala khona. And you can see ukuthi kunentaba lana nala futhi ezansi kunentaba la abantu bakhe kuleli side lentaba yabo. So i-topic yami ethini grade 12 lapha it's a slope aspects settlement in the northern hemisphere. A secular southern hemisphere. You must be careful grade 12. Bengatricka ngalezi zinto we-exam. Bengahlale befake southern hemisphere ama conditions as a southern hemisphere. Bengafama ama conditions as a northern hemisphere just to test your knowledge ukuthi how much do you know yabo ukuthi wazi kangakanani. So lana ke ngifake i-settlement in the south facing slope of the Alps. I-Alps iy'ntaba ezile e-Europe, zile e-Northern Hemisphere. Bese ngiyabuza kwi-exam mina ngithi, learners, why people chose to build their houses on the south facing slope? Bese yasho ama-learners ukuthi hayi, you know what? In the Northern Hemisphere, the south facing slope receives more heat. So they receive direct sun's rays. Yabo? So this slope is warmer compared to in northern north facing slope. Kumbula grade 12 ungayi confuse lento. I-situation yase Northern Hemisphere. Yabo? Izinto ekumele uyilindele nje lezi kwi-exam yakho ezuyibhala so that uzoyikhumbula nje. Yabo? Okay, now let us go to ama-activities mhlawumbe singawenza ke grade 12. Nani ke mhlawumbe nisalapho si-engage nje ndawonye. Sibheke nansi activity number 2 emvele ngawuthatha ngawufaka nje uba unjalo. Ngafaka ama-slopes amabili, ngafaka uslope A, ngafaka uslope B. Yabo? So le activity yami le is based laphayana kwi-katabatic nakwi-anabatic winds. Now la uguide ama-arrows grade 12 and siyabona ama-arrows ukuthi ngale emasayidini the air is rising. Yabo? The air is rising and then ikubhaliwe futhi lapha kwathiwa warm air is rising. So seyasho grade 12 futhi, you know what, sengiyazi ukuthi what types of winds are these, sengiyazi ukuthi imuphi lo moya ke manje olapha yana. And then sihambe sek-B. U-B uzonothisa ke manje ukuthi ku-B khona ama-arrows abheke phansi and lama arrows achaza ukuthi umoya uya phansi. Khona omunye umoya orisayo lapha but mawufika le phezulu ufika kukhona elinye ibhande and ngiyalazi ke mina lela bhande ukuthi libizwa ngani konje. Yabo? Okay, sika clicka ke manje ekhanda lami grade 12 ukuthi okay konje selela band is called i-thermal belt noma i-inversion layer. And then kwase kuyabhala ukuthi lapha eceleni is cold air sinking. To sink ukushona phansi grade 12. So sengiready ke manje uku-answerisha i-activity yami. Nanka ama-questions engiwafakile kwi-activity yami. Number 1, name the valley winds depicted, to depict ukhombisa. Name the wind depicted in A and B. So u-A wami ngithe umoya uya le emasayidini, which means uyanyuka and it's warm air rising. So A is anabatic winds. So I'm correct. And then u-B wona ke, u-B ngibheka nje ama-arrows lana and then kune-thermal belts lapha yana etholakala ebusuku kuphela. And then u-B wami I can safely say manje ukuthi it's a katabatic winds. So sengiwutholile lo 4 marks wami. Now unumber 2 wami, nanku unumber 2 wami ke. Unumber 2 wami uyangibuza ke manje ukuthi please state one advantage of the wind A. Uzokhumbula ke grade 12 ukuthi ngitheni lapha yana eqaleni as I was explaining ubuhle be-anabatic winds. Ngithe mina ubuhle belento be-anabatic winds ukuthi if there was a pollution la, if there was a pollution caused by ama-factory, yabo, all that pollution will be released. Siyakhumbula ke manje umfundi wa grade 12 futhi okay. Now uthe lo moya lona will help, yabo, le ndawo ukuthi ihlezi inomoya oclean, yabo, ngokukhipha i-pollution. So i-answer yami will be pollution will be released. So it can carry pollution out of the valley. Now, number 3, name the layer labeled at C. Na kusi wami ke lapha yana ke. Usi wami remember unamagama amabili. Ngingasho ngithi it's an inversion layer noma it's a thermal belt. Okay, number 4. Explain how the wind labeled B, influences. Ishintsha kanjani farming. A, farming in the valley. That is 4 marks, ne? So which means at least kumele unike at least 2 answers la for you ukuthi uthole 4 marks wakho uphelele. So ngingasho mina ukuthi number 1 influencer. Farming influencer. Number 1 ngithi winds bring cold air into the valley. So le moya lo uletha ama conditions anjani abandayo into the valley. We affect kanjani farming. Number 2, lo moya futhi lo ukhoza ini frost pockets lapha ezantsi. Ukhoza frost pockets to form. Mhlawumbe ke senga add ke mhlambe ngi-answer yami mhlambe number 3 ngithi mhlambe frost ingabulala ama crops, so the frost can kill the crops. This will be answer number 3 wami. Remember kufunakale ama answers amabili ngoba ama marks ami out of 4 marks. Asiye lapha yana ke kuma industries. Remember, explain how the wind labeled B law influences industry in the valley. So number 1 wami nje ngithe mina abantu abasebenzayo lapha yana bazoba nenkinga, especially abagulayo abazoba nenkinga ebusuku ngoba kuyabanda and plus ine pollution ecaused yiwona lama factories. So cold conditions will make working conditions in this industry difficult. Ngoba ine pollution esirculateayo grade 12 lapha. So nje mawuna ama respiratory problems, unenkinga yokuphefumula, uzoba nenkinga kakhulu futhi. And then bese kuba mhlambi answer number 2 would be pollution produced by industry will be trapped in the valley. So that will be answer number 2 one. All right, kube grade 12. Sibheka ama answer ke nanka ama answers ami. Yes, ngiwafake njoba enjalo. As you can see lapha yana ngithe A wami answer number A anabatic winds or upslope wind. B wami katabatic winds or downslope winds. As well as number 2 wami ngithe konje lo moya lo olaphana ku slope A anabatic winds ungasiza kanjani yabo lapha kuleya valley. Ngithe mina it can carry out pollution out of the valley. Ngase ngibuza leya bande ukuthi konje leya bande libizwa ngani, sase inversion layers or thermal belts. So si correct lapho, and then ngabheka futhi influence of katabatic winds ke manje on the valley kwe farming. Ngathi it can bring cold conditions to the valley. Ngathi these winds cause a frost pocket to form. Ngathi lastly the frost can kill the crops. Then sabheka futhi ke uthi yipi influence ongayenza ke futhi kuma industries loya moya ke esubiza ngekatabatic wind. Sathi cold conditions make working conditions they make conditions very difficult in that valley. Yabo sathi pollution produced by the industry will be trapped in the valley. So that's what we've said here nge-activity yethu. So we are happy now ukuthi so-answerishe wonke ama questions ethu correctly. So we can now move on to the next item. Sibheka city climates. City climates. City climates ke la grade 12 sibheka i-urban area. So i-urban area ke lana its experience yabo different climates compared to ama surrounding environments. Yabo le nto compared to ama surrounding rural areas. So uzokhumbula grade 12 ukuthi wake wenza i-cross section noma into ekuthiwa i-urban profile. So i-urban profile la bakukhombisa khona phela ke manje ukuthi injani i-temperature within the city part nendawo, and then injani i-temperature emasidini of the city. So and then again So sibheka formation of a heat urban island yabo over the city, and then our main focus here as well sizobheka the causes of the heat island. Okay, now grade 12, it's safe to say ke manje ukuthi yes sesingayibheka i-urban heat island as a concept. Asibheke i-urban heat island as a concept for your exams yabo, ngoba iyaphuma ngeke zikhohlise, iyaphuma grade 12. You must know ukuthi uma kune source ye-urban heat island esuke ikhona lapha, into yokuqala nje abazokubuza ngayo will be the concept of i-urban heat island. Define the concept urban heat island yabo, and then uzobe ususho ke phela ke manje ukuthi it's when the city has warmer temperatures than the surrounding areas. La i-city idolobha lisuke nama temperatures amakhulu than ama-surrounding rural areas, ama-rural areas indawo zasemakhaya. And then uzokhumbula umfundi wa grade 12 futhi kunama reasons ke manje behind all of this. Kunama reasons why i-city ishisa kakhulu than indawo zasemakhaya. I-city nama artificial surfaces amaningi kakhulu than indawo zasemakhaya. Indawo zasemakhaya zine vegetation eningi kakhulu, and lapha kwi-city kunama tall buildings, kunama tar roads yabo, so maningi ama artificial surfaces. So kwi-exam yakho ke grade 12, kwi-exam yakho bengakubuza nje ukuthi how the temperatures change as you move towards the city of the center. How the temperature change as you move towards the city of the center. So which means usuka lapha emakhaya uya kuma urban areas. So mosuka emakhaya ngithe mina i-temperature yakhona is very low, angethi iphansi kakhulu as compared to kephi lapha kuma urban areas. So i-temperature will increase obviously. Ake sibheke lento kwi diagram yethu ke grade 12, lento esikhuluma ngayo urban heat profile. I-urban heat profile ekhoza i-urban heat island. Sizobheka ke phansi nendawo, siqale phansi nendawo. Phansi nendawo uzobona nje la kwi diagram yami ukuthi ngifake i-CBD. So i-CBD yami Central Business District and inama buildings amade. So uma inama buildings amade, ama buildings a trapper noma abamba ukushisa yabo, and then ebusuku ekurelease lokho kushisa. So as you go, as you move out of the city, as uhamba uya ngaphandle yale kuma rural areas, you will notice one thing ke manje ukuthi you know what, ama buildings ami aseyaqala manje kwehla ngokwe structure sami. Uzonotice nje moya ka right wakho naka left wami, so awasekho made njengalapha yana kwi CBD. So you will notice futhi ukuthi kune vegetation esuke ilapha, nazi izihlahla zakho ziyabonakala, and then ke emakhaya ke lapha emakhaya unezindlu ezimbalwa, and then unezihlahla eziningi. So which means i-vegetation yalapha yana emakhaya iningi kakhulu as compared to elapha yana kwi city. So that is why uma ke ubheka le profile yakho, ubheka le island isuke iphansi ngale kuma rural areas emasidini. But as you move towards the city, uya lapha kwi city center phansi nendawo, idome yakho noma i-island yakho iyanyuka, iya increase ibheka phezulu. Kunama reasons behind that. Sizobheka nje lawo ma reasons in a short while. Now, i-pollution dome, good people, sibheka isimo sasebusuku, sibheke isimo sasemini. Now, njengoba ngishilo grade 12 ekuqaleni ngathi mina ama urban areas abamba ukushisa kakhulu more than indawo zasemakhaya. So uma ekurelease ebusuku lo kushisa lokho yabo, azokurelease kuye phezulu kakhulu more than indawo esemakhaya. So la sibheka i-situation ya during the day, and you can see ukuthi dome yakho ihamba kanjani during the day. So ama arrows lawa engwafakile representa i-airflow, ukuhamba komoya. Lama chofa amancane represents i-pollution. Yabo i-pollution ikephi grade 12? Ile phezulu kwi-atmosphere, phezulu kakhulu. Ayikho la ezansi. But now ebusuku ke kwenzakalani ebusuku ke? Kwenzakala into ethiwa i-pollution dome. I-pollution dome, good people, sesibheka ke manje ukuthi okay now. I-pollution ikephi? How close is it than la ehlala khona? So i-pollution dome is closer to the Earth's surface during the night because of the invasion lapha phezulu. Esuke i-trap kanje more like lapha kwi-valley climate. So umoya obandayo uzowehla, will subside, yabo. So whatever umoya oshisayo that obubanjwe lama buildings lawa phakathi uzoba released, yabo. So which means zonke lezi ndawo lezi ezi around la kule urban area zizoba little bit warmer than places ongakhiwe lutho nje as all. And you will notice ukuthi i-pollution dome yami iyehla ngapha emasayidini iphezulu laphana kwi-city center and iphansi la. It's because of one thing, ama-artificial surfaces alaphana gcwele ama-buildings la babamba ukushisa. Asiyakurelease ke manje ebusuku, yabo. Ayakurelease and then bese ebanjwa ile lo yamoya oshisayo ne-invasion le esuyilapha phezulu, yabo. So now asibheke futhi the reasons ke class sorry grade 12, I almost said class. You are a class anyway. Okay, now asibheke ama-factors that cause i-urban island, heat island. Kubalulekile for your exams grade 12 ngicela ukunose lokho. Into yokuqala nje ngithi ama-artificial surfaces. Ama-artificial surfaces enziwa abantu. That is why we say human made surfaces, yabo. So mase ngwa explain ukuthi enzani ngala. Lama surfaces like ama-tar roads, like ama-tall buildings adonsa ukushisa, they absorb heat. Number 2, surface areas, yabo. We're looking at the sides of the buildings, yabo. Aya eda futhi ke la kuma surface areas. Mase explain nje kancane futhi nakhona with a greater area ke, yabo. And then more heat is absorbed by these sides of the buildings. Bese kuba i-pollution ke. I-pollution ke ecauswa ama-factories, cars ezimoto zihamba zirelease yonke le pollution la, yabo. It trapper ukushisa. And then bese kuba ama-artificial heat sources, yabo. Ama-artificial heat sources sikhuluma even lento lena ama-things like ama-factories, firms, yabo, even cars, yabo. So if we must explain nje lokho mhlambe kancane, ama-factories, imoto, even air conditions, ama-air conditioners ne ayakurelease lokho kushisa into the air. Now, ama-sustainable ways, how can we sustain this? Ama-sustainable ways here, good people, would say, what can we do ukwehlisa i-urban heat island? In a paragraph of approximately 8 lines, that is your exam question. In a paragraph of approximately 8 lines, please write sustainable ways to reduce i-urban heat island. Then usuzobhala ke manje grade 12 uthini? Kumele phela kube nezinto ezibizwa ngani ngama-green belts. Kumele sipromote ama-green belts. Ama-green belts kungaba anything from ipaki, yabo le paki uhlale ibona emadolobheni. Kungaba mhlambe i-golf course, yabo. Zonke lezo zinto zine vegetation. Or you can even ukuthi ulento wenze even ama-recreational facilities, ama-ground, yabo. Mhlambe e-soccer, e-cricket, yabo, and all that. And then number 2, mhlambe you can plant more trees. More notice more hamba nje edrobheni lamadolobha amakhulu uzonotice nje ukuthi kuhambe kube nezihlahla nje ezimbala available around, yabo. Zonke lezo zihlahla lezo ezokulwa ne-urban heat island, yabo. And then bese kuba you must also increase vegetation yabo cycle by planting into esibiza ngane manje grade 12 ama rooftop gardens. Singenza ama rooftop gardens le phezulu on top of the roofs, senze nje ama gardens esamahle yabo, so that ilanga malifika lingeze ukubambeka kakhulu as much as belizobambeka uma lifika kwi artificial surface. And then ama new buildings here yabo should be built in materials like ama glass or any reflective should not be built in ama glasses or in material a glass lezo reflector kahle kahle ilanga ngoba ikhoza i-urban heat island to be high. Bese kuthi kokugcina ke grade 12 sibheka ama sustainable ways to reduce i-urban heat island. Okay, kusayinto eyodwa, yes, the height of the buildings should have a limit. Mawubheka kulama cities lawa amasha, ama cities anjengo Sentin City, ama cities anjengomhlanga, ama buildings amade kakhulu abasawakhe bakha nje ama buildings akahle yabo ngoba bayawazi ukuthi akhoza ini. So bakha ama buildings mhlambe ako 5 stories yabo, mhlambe maximum mhlambe 10 stories, abasawakhe la kuthiwa ama skyscrapers la amade kakhulu. And then also number 2 mhlambe ungaba can have laws that will enforce ama factories ukuthi reduce the amount of pollution, or ufake even ama filters yabo, ama filters kuma factories so that they will filter out ama lenti pollution. Another point will be you must improve, mele improve noma ugqugquzela abantu ukuthi besebenzise ilenti public transport noma uthi beclub ukusebenzisa ama lifts clubs yabo, minimize the traffic lezo cause pollution. And then also lastly, yes, as I've said, if people are going to school kumele behambe ngama lifts clubs yabo, bengahamba even ama lento lena public transport such as ilento itimela yabo, itimela ke azu ayina ilento lena strong impacts kwilento or effects kwilento kwi pollution. So grade 12 yizo zonke izinto kumele siyinakeke lezo sisirepa nje for your exams grade 12 when it comes to the topic. Kumele was types of winds that we have. Ebusuku says ne katabatic, and then emini says ne anabatic. Anabatic kumele wazi ukuthi isiza ukuthi pollution releaseke, and then ebusuku sine katabatic nama effects anzima kabi because yona itrapper ukungcola which is pollution yabo. And then sabheka futhi the ways to overcome that, which what can we do. And then sabheka futhi the urban heat island, ama causes akhona nama sustainable ways to reduce urban heat island. I think that will help you kuzokusiza ube ready for your exam yakho grade 12, bhalela ama paragraphs akho ungabi nankinga, and then ube mindful of isikhathi grade 12 sibheke nama lento ama mark allocation kwi exam yethu ku question paper yethu, and then so that singabi nankinga mase sibhalile emaphepheni. Sizosibonana ngokuzayo grade 12. Igama lami Umuzi Mthembu, ngithe sitholakala njalo ngamo Fridays ngoLesihlanu ngo4 to 5 o'clock. Ngiyabonga.
Siyathemba nifunde kahle nasithokozela isifundo sethu sanamhlanje enisethulelwe ngezilokotho ezinhle Ithala libambisene neGo Digital SA Foundation. Thamelani ke futhi esilandelayo ngesikhathi sifanayo, ningakhohlwa ukumema nabanye abafundi bebanga le-12 ukuze nabo basizakale kulolu hlelo. Uma ninemibuzo noma nifisa ukuxhumana nathi, ningasithinta ngokufaka imibuzo yenu kwinombolo yethu ye-WhatsApp ethi 068 151 1072. Mfundi, ungakhohlwa ukubhala isifundo obuza ngaso ngaphambi kokubhala umbuzo wakho. Angiyiphinde inamba yethu 068 151 1072. Siyabonga.